The seasons of our lives. Just as the sun continues to rise from the east and sets in the west, and the days follow nights, and the tide comes in and goes out, our lives will continue to unfold. But how we nourish and protect our lives depends on our ability to harness the miracles of the season. For life is fragile, life is conditional. Life is like a changing season. Winter comes after fall. Spring follows winter. And then summer, they come with absolute regularity. Some seasons are short, some are long. Some are difficult, and some are easy. King Solomon was a knowledgeable man who thought a lot about the way life goes. He wrote these words in Ecclesiastes 3. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain, a time to gain and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sue, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. What profit has the worker from that in which he labors? I have seen the God-given task with which the sons of men are to be occupied. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has put eternity in the hearts of men, except that no one can find out the work that God does from beginning to end. We all experience changes and transitions in our lives. We call them seasons in our lives. And God has arranged them here on earth to make our lives more dynamic and exciting. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. This scripture in Genesis 8 verse 22 gives us a basic description of seasons. Sometimes they are often referred to as the contrast in our lives. For the only way to enjoy a meal is to get hungry, and to enjoy the thrill of victory is to experience the agony of defeat. Hence, the seasons of our lives are there for a reason. It gives us lessons to learn and apply for us to enjoy a life in abundance and a life in balance and lifestyle. Our inability to grasp the meaning and significance of the seasons in our lives will make us drifting in the wrong direction. There are winters in our lives that we can't figure out. When everything is smashed, crushed, tortured, when the only color we can see is nothing but black, when our resources are depleted beyond our comprehension. But winter is a time when the soil is frozen, weeds are eliminated, and germs and bacteria are killed. It is when the seed and the soil gather their strength ready for the next season. Hence, our winter of discontent, disappointments, and failures should give us strength to fuel our desires to plan, to set goals, and to lay out strategies for a life worth living. Springtime is when the fields are plowed and the seeds are sown, a time of action and implementation, and a season to expand our awareness and build our circle of influence. It is an opportunity to invest the seeds of greatness, kindness, wealth, productivity, and loving values. Then here comes summertime, a time to nourish our crops and protect them from the weeds of fear, negativity, hatred, envy, and greed. A season to respond to the things we are called for, and the opportunity to go out under the sun, to perform and to be somebody in the marketplace. And most importantly, a time to reap the fruits of our labor before the onset of fall, when it is time to share the blessings that the seasons have brought. Autumn or fall is a time of reflection and acknowledgement of the virtues and wisdom that has bestowed upon us, a time to relax and enjoy the beauty of God's creation, and to share your laughter and joy to your family and friends. Seasons come and go. They are different to different people. But God has instructed us to do the right thing in the right season. How we deal with the seasons of our lives determine what we become. We can choose to be planting in the spring or begging in the fall.